So, you have questions, I have answers. Fergus, what is with the intentionally ambiguous title? Well, yes. Indeed, it is time to reveal what I'm training for next and what you will be coming along the ride for. But before I jump into all that, it is important to give a little bit of context as to everything that's led to this point. So for the past couple of years, I have been heavily strength and triathlon focused. And if I'm entirely honest, last year's triathlon efforts took a lot out of me. That is explained in a lot more detail than I'm going to do today in my second most recent video, the one that's on the screen here, linked down below as well, as that will give you more context there. But this year, I'm going to focus on shorter, heavier, harder efforts, and maybe revisit some of the in the same day challenges that I have explored over the years. Maybe even try a few new ones. Maybe even push the boat out a little further than I have done previously. You'll have to stick around to see. But today I'm going to run you through what I'm training for next, and I think there's not much use me being up here talking about it, so I'd best get downstairs and start training for it. Yep, that's right. I'm entering my first strongman event. Okay, on Sunday the 6th of August, I have very excitingly been invited to The Gathering, which is the Donald Denny Day. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know that last year I became the 184th person to lift the Denny stones up in Potarch in Aberdeenshire, and this will be held in the same location, but this is kind of a gathering, clues in the name, around all of the heritage-ridden Scottish lifting stones that are up there, with events around each of them. So what I'm going to do is run you through the events that will be entailed. 12 lifters last year taking part in these events, and I'm very fortunately one of the competitors this year. And if you're wondering, will I be in a kilt? You're goddamn right I will be, son. So event number 1 of the Donald Denny Games is the Golden Denny Magoo Stone Challenge. This is basically Braveheart Light, by the way, this event, so just bear that in mind. Named after our friend and Denny stone historian Gordon Denny, this event is designed to showcase what is probably the most common modern form of natural stone lifting here in Scotland, the stone to shoulder lift. The stone weighs 102 kilos and is simply called Magoo. Athletes will have 75 seconds to complete as many legitimate reps as possible. So, as I demonstrated earlier, you're essentially trying to get the stone to your shoulder with your hand outstretched for it to be a good rep, with the stone down, repeat as many reps in 75 seconds as possible. I have never lifted anything to shoulder in that format more than that 50 kilo D-ball there, so I have my work cut out for me. I need to get some Atlas stones, but you will see how my training unfolds if you stick around, and make sure to hit subscribe right now. Thank you very much. Why not hit the like button whilst you're here as well? Cheers. Event number 2, I'm feeling fairly confident for, as it is in fact lifting the Denny stones off the floor. 332 kilos of heritage, storytelling, and awkwardness, really. I lifted them in April last year. The video is on the screen for you somewhere and in the description down below as well. I managed to lift them a couple of times on the day, held them for about 18 seconds and had a great time doing so. In simple terms, TLDR, lift 2 heavy rocks off the floor. The end. The next event of the Donald Denny Games is the Terry Todd Sword and the Stone Challenge. And no, you have not accidentally ended up into a rabbit hole of medieval YouTube. I'm in fact taking this on in August 2023. And the event is named after Dr. Terry Todd and features a 15 kilo natural smooth stone, which is oval in shape with no embedded ring or handholds. And I don't know about you guys, but I personally prefer my stones with rings or handholds. So 15 kilos, hold it out in front of you with straight arms, facing off against a opposing lifter on the other side. And first one to drop it loses, effectively. And yes, if you're wondering, there is a sword directly beneath you, whereby if the stone drops to that point, you're out, son. So it's kind of a very weird form of going head to head in stone holding, or I think we can all agree, a game of holding eye contact for as long as you can without getting an erection. Excuse me. Next up we have the Nickel Walking Stones Challenge, and I unfortunately have no walking stones to hand to demonstrate with. These are stones designed by Brett Nickel, who is actually the man that oversaw my Denny stones attempt last year. Fresh off a day of tree surgeoning, and then brought out some lifting stones to warm up with for the Denny stones out of the back of his van, which is not something I've ever seen before, and not something I've actually seen since. So thank you, Brett, for providing the warm-up materials, and thank you for, in a sadistic sort of way, providing the walking stones, whereby 138 kilos and 100 114 kilos. The stones are approximately the same height as the Denny stones from the ground to the top of each ring at its highest point, and they are designed to be like the Denny stones, but lighter. So the name of the game with this challenge is to pick them up and waddle with them. I would say walk, but I'll be waddling, thank you very much, with them for as far as you can. You get a maximum of 2 pickups and 10 seconds between pickups. Pretty simple. Pick them up, walk with them as long as you can, waddle with them as long as you can, and I assume winner is the furthest waddler. The next session is actually a bit of an upgrade from the previous Denny stone lifting where I said I was very confident, and we will now allow that confidence to implode in on itself as this is the Denny stones carrying attempt, which is something I'm significantly less capable of doing with confidence and gusto. This session will feature Denny stone carry and hold attempts, and will be followed by an Investone display. Will there be a new Guinness World Record set for the carry and hold attempt? Question mark. That's what it says here. Don't shoot the messenger. Cheers, guys. Next event of the Donald Denny Games is Rock the Casbah. I don't know what that means, but hang on. Everyone loves the spectacle of the weight over the bar challenge. I know what this one is. This is a game of strategy. This is a slightly different take on the event commonly used in the Highland Games the world over, and is named after Bill Kazmaier, who is a savage and significantly stronger than me, so that's a bad sign, who broke the weight over the bar world record on his first time trip. What? It's not gonna happen with me, anyway. Instead of the normal 56-pound ringed cast iron weight, we have 2 ringed stones weighing 15 kilos and 19 kilos, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is where things get exciting. You're on the edge of your seat. You're not. Just hips, breath into your brain, just shift a little bit forwards. Edge of your seat, yeah. Cool. This is a timed event where athletes have 60 seconds to make as many throws as possible. It's a game of strategy though, as 1 rep with the heavier 19 kg stone beats any amount of reps with the lighter 15 kg stone. Athletes may use 1 or 2 hands to throw the weight. The referee will give the start signal. Not for the faint-hearted, this event will test every competitor's skill and energy. Everybody watching is thinking, yeah, I'd go for the 19 kilo stone. Why not? Let's give it a try. And I'm thinking the same, but there's a part of me that thinks that perhaps that's not within my wheelhouse and I should stick to the 15 kilo one. But right now, all I'm thinking is that I hope I'm not going first on that event because I really don't know how to play that one, and I have never engaged in a hip hinge and thrown anything like that before, so I'm excited to play around with that over the next couple of weeks. I have a 32 kilo kettlebell there. I've got a couple of other kettlebells. I'm pretty sure I've got a 16 and maybe a 20 around, so I'll play around with it and see what happens. But obviously the main thing I don't want to happen in front of a crowd and with cameras on is I don't want to launch it directly up in the air and then just decimate my skull, because it'd make for a good thumbnail on the title, but I unfortunately would not see the ad revenue on the other side, so, you know, lose-lose. Win-win for you though. Next up, we have the June Richard Stone Wall Challenge. This event, named after the Investone keeper June Richard, replicates the original historical challenge of loading a heavy stone onto a wall at waist height. This is Atlas stones, effectively. It will feature 5 progressively heavier natural stones. They love the word natural just to rub it in that these are awkward AF. 98 kilos, 114 kilos, 123 kilos, 137 kilos, and 154 kilos, which will have to be loaded onto barrels at waist height. The first and lighter stone will be placed 5 feet from the barrel, the second stone will be placed 4 feet away, and so on until the finest, heavier stone, which will be placed 1 foot from the barrel. This is a timed event, will be an exciting final event of the games. The time for each stone will be recorded from when the athlete removes his hands from the stone. No experience with Atlas stones at all, and just looking at how they're picked up off the floor is kind of spinal. So I'm gonna have to play around with that and get used to that, but I am actually excited to give it a go because not only is it on home turf, it'll be a really cool event. There's a lot of heritage and storytelling attached to everything that goes on up there with the Scottish stone lifting community and everything behind it, but it really does feel like a nice string in the bow of all-round fitness and hybrid training to be able to go up and give these things a go. And even more so with, as I jokingly just said, the natural element whereby these are stones that have come from the wild, and therefore it's kind of strength in its rawest format, and I get to wear a kilt, so everyone's having a good time really. So I appreciate that's been quite a lot of information and quite a lot to take in, but I hope that you've got a good understanding of what is to come and what I actually need to work on to be able to get there. My excitement is palpable, I hope yours is too, but in the time it has taken to read through everything on my phone in front of me and cock up a few times on camera, because YouTube is not all in one take, as us YouTubers would like to have you believe, I actually need to get on with my training, as I am crawling crawling with beta-alanine and would like to get on with some pause squats. So very shortly, I'll tell you about what I'm changing in my training, what it's looking like, and where I think I'm going to be strongest / weakest. Okay, and that is me coming to the end of a full body Friday, a staple in the Omnia performance repertoire. If you would like to join myself and just over 1,500 others worldwide engaging in full body Friday, that was a weak punch. Full body Fridays, nobody actually gets hit, disclaimer. We don't take any accountability if anyone accidentally gets hit on a full body Friday. You've got to tick that box anyway when you sign up. So if you would like to, head to the link in the description down below, and there's even a secret discount code in there for YouTube viewers. Don't tell anyone else that isn't on YouTube. Thank you. So in terms of what I'm most worried about, 8 weeks out from my first ever strongman competition, whilst yes, it's not strongman in its truest form, it's sort of more of a Highland Gamesy format, it's strongman origins for sure, is the skills. Strongman is a very skillful sport, and while some of you might have some preconceived ideas as to what I mean by that, essentially these are movement patterns that are a bit more awkward, they're a bit more unnatural in terms of what you do in a typical gym setting, and those are therefore things that need to be developed. In the same way that a strongman going to run for the first time would need to develop the skill, I'm not going to be naive and think because I can incline press and do some clean and jerks that's immediately going to make me really adept at the skills and movements that go with strongman. No, I need to treat the process with respect, learn the movements, get access to some atlas stones, get access to some heavier stones to shoulders, and just feel my way through the motions. Isolate where I'm weak, do a little bit of work on them over the next 8 weeks. But most importantly, all I'm trying to do is translate my strength into the new movement patterns and the skills that I will develop. So hinging, I'm pretty strong, so all I need to really do is improve on the coordination there. I have no idea how good I'm going to be at stone to shoulder. Obviously there's a bit of a hinge to that point, but it's this bit there that I'm not quite sure on. Atlas stones, no idea. Am I going to be good? Am I going to be bad? We will all find out together. Denny stones, I'm confident, but I will play around with the rings that I have stored at Lift in Edinburgh. They're not actually here at the moment. I realised that earlier today because I wasn't going to lift them today for a big reveal, but nonetheless, I will pick those up again and see how they're feeling and maybe try and carry them a little bit too. Grip strength, pretty confident in. So all of it is really just getting used to the grunt work. At the moment, my high aerobic volume is reduced because I'm focusing on a few other things alongside the strongman competition, truth be told. So very much lifting focused at the moment whilst focusing on speedier, shorter distance running, still swimming and cycling. And actually at this point, maybe it's worth running you through what a full week of training is looking like for me at the moment. So I'll do a video in more detail on this in the weeks to come, but just before you go, I thought I'd run you through what things are looking like as you might be interested. So Mondays, I am not actually training, as Mondays are a very, very intense work day for me. I use them to get ahead of the week and sort of get all programming, communications, emails and things out of the way, so that can be a bit more flexible the rest of the week. I've been doing that for about a year now and that suits me best. Tuesdays, heavy lower body in the morning, track work in the evening. Wednesday, heavy upper body in the morning and swim in the evening. Thursday is tempo / sub-threshold run. So that'll be either reps or continuous efforts at around sort of the 160 heart rate zone for me at the moment, moving around a 7-minute mile pace, give or take. What are we on Thursday? Friday will be either another swim or just a full body session. Saturday will typically be a long ride, very much socially focused at the moment. And Sunday will be a little bit of upper body assistance work and a long-ish run. I'm not really going much beyond the 90 minutes mark at the moment, and my rides on Saturday will only be about 3 hours. So I'm going from about 20 hours of training a week to about 12, and that is so to focus on higher volume strength work and more specific cardiovascular work for some more specific goals that will be coming very soon. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an oversight. Any questions and all of that, drop them in the comments down below. But I will be elaborating in the weeks to come. But I hope that gets you as excited as I am for what is going to be an exciting period of adaptation to new demands, as ultimately that, my friends, is what fitness is all about. I am excited to figure this out as I go. I'm excited to have you along for the ride. If you haven't yet done so, please do hit like, please do comment with your thoughts and or feelings or suggestions if you come from a strongman background down below, and make sure that you've hit subscribe. Thank you very much. It makes me smile like this. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.